Our International Affairs Editor, Rob Parsons. Good to see you, Rob. The Socialist Party has been in power for 25 years. Can Nicolas Maduro do it again? Can he be re-elected?
Well, if this was a free and fair election, I think the simple answer to that would be no. It would be impossible, because all the polls have been showing that the unified opposition, the unified platform group, has a lead of about 20%. So given that, you would have to assume that they would sweep the election, which puts Edmundo Gonzalez, the current leader, 74-year-old centrist ex-diplomat, up against Maduro. Given the fact that the economy is in such bad shape, that Maduro's been in power now himself for 11 years and his party for far longer than that, as you pointed out, given the fact that GDP has shrunk by 80% over the decade plus that he's been in power, given the fact that there are constant shortages of electricity and fuel, that there are shortages of food, shortages of medicines, unemployment is rife, and and so on and so forth. You could list all the things that are going wrong with Venezuela for almost forever. And 8 million people have had to leave the country to find work and political asylum elsewhere. Given that, you would assume that he would have little chance in this election. And he promised last year, in a deal with the opposition, that he allowed free and fair elections this year. But already, we've seen him reneging on that. There have been 135 arrests of opposition leaders since the beginning of this year. And for instance, Maria Corina Machado, one of the leaders of the unified platform, has been prevented from running, which is why Edmundo Gonzalez is now running by himself. Given that, and the fact that in just the last couple of weeks, the head of security of the unified opposition has been arrested, one has to wonder, what the plan of the government and the ruling party are in the elections on Sunday. It seems highly unlikely that if they do lose, that they're going to just take it at that. One has to assume that they will resist in some way. At this stage, we don't know quite how that's going to happen.
And there have been concerns he's been stirring tensions with Guyana, this in order to sort of whip up nationalism back home. Yeah, and this is one of the reasons I think he's doing this, is that because things have been so tough over the last decade or so of Maduro's leadership in Venezuela, that the core base of his party, which by and large has been pretty loyal, has to be energized to get out to vote. There have been plenty of signs, including these election polls over the last month or so, which suggest that they're not energized, that although passively they may support Maduro and his party, many of them won't be voting. One of the ways he hopes to get them motivated is by stirring up nationalist conflict with neighboring Guyana, by resurrecting a claim to a territory called Essequibo in Guyana, which amounts to 2/3 of Guyanese territory, rich in oil and gold, claiming that it is Venezuelan. He's moved troops to the border area. Guyana has responded by holding military exercises with the United States, has appealed to the International Court of Justice. It hasn't reached any conclusions yet and won't do for some time, but has warned Venezuela against taking precipitate action. Others around the South America, Lula da Silva, for instance, the Brazilian president, has warned against Venezuela taking action against Guyana. But the aim, I think, at this moment is not necessarily to invade Guyana, but to motivate his own electorate for tomorrow's vote.